Two idiots talking over stuff. Talking over. Talking over. Talking over.
Wow. What's up, you fucking idiots? Happy Wednesday.
What's up, idiots? I really had to think about that for a second because it's the peek behind the curtain. It's not Wednesday right now, but it will be when you hear it.
God damn it. It's what?
It's always Wednesday over here.
You can't go just shattering the illusion immediately.
It's Wednesday.
Hey, everybody, it's Wednesday.
I don't have a good. You can give me a good segue to roll into who we are.
It's Wednesday. Me.
And who is me?
Hi, I'm Jesse. You can find me on Twitter at @OwlByNight.
Hi, I'm Felicia. You can find me at Twitter and Instagram at Felicia3. Collectively, we are two idiots talking over stuff, or Tito's. You can find us at www.idiots.fm, which has the link to all of our socials. We are typically at Tito's Pod everywhere, most active on Twitter. You can hit the link to our Discord and get in there and chat with everybody else listening to the show. And you can also ask us
chat with Tyler.
Mostly Tyler. You can
Why don't you get in there and chat with Tyler only?
Yeah, you can ask us questions for our show, which we'll be answering some of those.
Yeah.
Or you could email us your questions at hello@idiots.fm. You can also email us whatever the fuck you want. I can't guarantee you will read it if it's just like googly goggly, you know?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Damn, you did that good. Wow, you're a good reader.
Wow, I'm amazing.
Speaking of you, no, wait.
Nope, you're too late for that segue.
Hey, Felicia.
Hey, Jesse.
What's going on?
Surprisingly, almost kind of a lot.
Yeah?
First off, my garbage disposal is now leaking, but I don't want to call maintenance and hide the cat again, so I just put a bucket under it.
No. See, you can't do it that way.
It's just the disposal, though. It just when I turn on the disposal, I think I just have to tighten something. But I haven't.
Where does it leak? Where you
under the
in
sink.
front of it? How'd you find that?
Big pool of water under the sink.
Dude, I feel like you gotta call your building people.
But it's just the disposal. It's not like the sink is leaking. So if I don't use the disposal, nothing's leaking.
But what if that gets like moldy and stuff, and they're like, "Ooh, you should have called us."
It can't because there's a bucket there.
I think you're missing. Don't you live in California?
Yeah.
You can't just be leaking water into a fucking bucket.
It's just
the planet's dying, Felicia.
It's just the disposal.
The whole planet's dying, and it's your fault.
It's mostly a stubborn temporary measure until I fix the problem. If I absolutely can't, I'll call maintenance, but that is my last resort because I fucking hate them.
Okay, fine.
Anyway.
Bucket.
Yeah, there's a bucket. I slept on the couch last night because I couldn't sleep in my own bed, so I walked out into the living room, and it was like the best sleep of my life.
I'm somewhat afraid to ask you why you couldn't sleep in your own bed.
I don't fucking know, dude. I think my pillow sucks. I have
there wasn't like a ghost in it. It was it was like a mechanical
Even if there was a ghost in it, I don't think walking like 6 feet into another room would solve the problem.
Yeah, that's true. That's a get out of the house situation if I ever heard one.
Other than that, I picked up the first Resident Evil game for the Switch because previously I've only ever played 7 and 8, and I kind of want to do all the main games. but Switch was having like a sale. All the Resident Evil games that they have are currently $9.99, but they don't
Oh,
have them all. So I got the first one. It's very jarring because it's old. So like every time you move a little bit, instead of the camera following you, it's just like a different angle. So
huh.
it's hard to get used to. Once you do, it's pretty fun. Um, but it's also like with the Resident Evil games, the way you save them is on these old typewriters that are scattered throughout, and you need a typewriter. I forget what they call them, like a reel
Um,
cartridge.
Cartridge sounds right. Actually, cartridge sounds good.
One of those. You need one of those
Yeah.
to save it. So if you don't have any, you can't save your game, which is a stupid mechanic, and they did it for a whole lot of games.
Yeah, that is stupid.
Yeah, but I'm trying to make my way through that.
I think
Um,
I think maybe it should be illegal to play a horror game on a Switch.
well, I think for the more recent ones, I wouldn't want to experience it that way. But for this, like, very low poly
Yeah.
early effort it's fine. But yeah, it was $10. I had $6 in credit, so I picked it up for $4, and I am pretty happy with that deal.
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
Um,
You
I'm
get
just
some enjoyment out of it.
I'm just getting all my shit out of the way so we can move on to you. I just got back a little earlier from the movie theater where I watched a movie called Fall that I'll talk about later.
Wait,
Um, not The Fall.
not wait. We just watched The Fall. You went and saw a movie today called Fall.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. We have talked about it before. It's the one about
Oh,
the
the
2 girls on
tower.
the yeah, exactly.
Oh, fuck yeah! I want to hear
So,
about that.
yeah, I'll talk about that in a bit, but, I
Sweet.
went with a friend who I picked up, and she lives in a town called Sebastopol, and Sebastopol is coast adjacent, like, I have to drive through it to get to the ocean, and
Mm-hmm.
it's populated, but by who I would refer to them as rich hippies. So it's like a very interesting town because it's
Right.
super, super expensive, but it's also like really new agey. And there's all these kinds of like metaphysical stores, and like there's an
Uh-huh.
apothecary, and
Yeah.
but every store you go into has like tarot decks, even if it's not a metaphysical store.
That sounds exactly like Asheville, North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah, which is right next door to me.
I love that shit. So I
Yep.
was gonna just drive right home, but I was like, I'm here and I need to walk in the sun and maybe get some vitamin D. So I
Oh yeah.
walked around. I went into a metaphysical store. I went into Copperfield Books, which is lovely. I went into a plant store. I bought 2 plants that I'm going to try so hard not to kill, but I have killed the most impossible of plants to kill.
Yeah.
So if you're, real good with plants and want to remind me every so often to water or something or fertilize something, I now have a snake plant, a ZZ plant, and a jade pothos. So hit me up, plant people.
Those sound like fake names for
I am
things.
I am told that they are the hardest to kill. That my snake plant is thriving. I've had that the longest, and it's the only plant I haven't managed to kill yet. The jade pothos and the ZZ plant I just bought today, I have killed a pothos before, and those are supposedly impossible to kill. So
Hell yeah.
we're gonna find out. Um,
I've never had a urge to keep plants. I never understood it really.
I really want to, because I feel like as both a Taurus and a witchy person, I'm supposed to have a green thumb, but I
Yeah.
have the blackest of thumbs. So I think
Yeah.
I want to prove something to myself that
Well,
I can keep something other than hopefully my cat alive.
oh no, you just doomed your cat, dude.
No.
No, mister.
Then lastly on my list here, I did hit my face. I hit myself in my face so hard I gave myself a nosebleed.
I
And
saw a
that was like
picture
an
of you. You
hour
had
ago.
a big old tissue hanging out your nose.
Yeah. I was playing with the cat and I was dangling something in front of his face, and he went to like reach for it, and I pulled my hand back because I didn't want to get
Yeah.
scratched, and I just misjudged the distance between my hand and my face, and I hit myself in the nose on the side where my nose ring is, and it
Uh-oh.
wasn't great.
Yep, and you did a face punch.
I did indeed. And that's all
Well,
my stuff.
Oh, that's a bad time. I hope your nose gets better.
It's fine.
I hope you don't kill those plants.
Me too.
I hope the earth is okay
Yeah.
without all that water you're dumping from that bucket.
I haven't used the garbage disposal yet again, so there's currently no water in the bucket. Thank you so much.
Wow, you did lots of shit. You know what I
did?
did?
What'd you do?
I had my soul crushed by work all week. What a fucking weird work week I had.
Okay, but I kind of did not in anywhere to the degree that you did, but I did too. All of this stuff I just recounted has been done like today.
Oh, damn.
And yesterday, I guess.
Well, like nothing at all happened during the week?
I worked a lot.
Yeah.
I was busy boy.
Me too. I was on call, and August is like heavy bad for us. Ugh. So there was like multiple days where I got woken up in the middle of the night.
Is school back? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. Well, they're prepping for it.
And
the prep work is like destroys the server sometimes. But that's not fun. No. I put up a blog post on outbynight.com, which is my little personal site, and it's entitled Deconstructing My Ghost Encounter, which is about the first non-drug induced hallucination I experienced a few months ago. And I did a little internal deep dive about it and wrote down my stream of consciousness.
It'll give you a small hint. Jesse still very much does not believe in ghosts.
Yeah, it wasn't a ghost. But it like made me see how people could believe in ghosts. I feel like that counts for something.
So you're saying everyone who's had a ghost experience was just hallucinating?
Probably, yeah. Because what else? I don't believe in ghosts. That doesn't make much sense to me.
Interesting. You're wrong, but it is interesting.
Hallucination makes sense to me because everybody hallucinates or has the ability to do that.
I feel like it just negates a lot of experiences to say that they're all hallucinations.
Well, where are all the boring ghosts?
What?
That's always my question. Like, where are the boring ghosts? Every ghost you hear about has some fucking story attached to it.
It's probably because the ones that are active are the ones who are interesting. If they're a boring ghost, they're just like chilling in your house.
Yeah, but who decides what's interesting about a ghost? Why would
ghost?
What do you mean?
If you as a person died in your home and someone else moved in and you're a ghost now, would you be like wailing and throwing shit? You'd probably just be chilling.
Yeah.
You'd be a boring ghost.
Yeah, but you don't hear about the boring ghosts. Like,
exactly, because they're not that active.
What's active to you? What would you describe as an active ghost?
The ones who do shit, like the ones that you see and the ones that like open the cabinet and throw things around.
The ones that have a Fitbit and protein powder.
No.
And they do the elliptical.
I would like to move on because I'm about to yell at Jesse. Go ahead and let's talk in our Discord about ghosts, and if you've had any experiences, I would love to hear about it. And you can yell at Jesse for
tell us about your hallucinations.
So, what did we watch last week, Jesse?
With Beth and Shannon, we watched The Rehearsal, episode 6, the season finale. We sure did. No ghost in that one.
No, but something far more haunting, I'd say.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy watching that. Like, The Rehearsal's such a weird show because I think it's genius, but I didn't enjoy it by any stretch.
I still cannot put, and rightfully so, I cannot put my finger on what this show even is. I don't know how much of it is scripted versus off the cuff. I don't know how many of these people are in on it versus just actors. I don't know even what degree Nathan himself is acting versus winging it. And I don't know what would bring me more comfort.
So I've thought about this. I don't think it's scripted per se. Like I don't think the other people in the show are scripted. I think Nathan Fielder's scripted. I think a lot of it is them casting stereotypes. Like they're casting people that they can anticipate what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And then right around that, I think that's a lot of it. But there are times in the show where you'll get like Nathan Fielder breaks character a few times. Like when he was having last week, when he was, spoilers by the way, if you haven't seen the rehearsal, last week when he was having that fight with her about the fake poop. Like
Dr. Fart.
Dr. Fart. You could see him break character when shit got absurd.
Yeah.
Like he did a laugh that wasn't his character's laugh. Like that was Nathan Fielder being like, "Are you fucking serious right now?"
Right.
And that's why I don't think they're like scripted actors. I think the point of the show there might be a couple points. One, I think what it turned into was like an attack piece on child actors.
Yeah,
and how fucked up that whole system is.
For sure. That last episode was a real statement about child acting, at least of kids under a certain age.
Yeah. And like the absurdity of there being so many precautions taken with them, like they can't work more than 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But then Nathan Fielder showing you that they could still destroy them. Like, it doesn't matter if they work 4 hours. Like it's straight up fucked up to do this to kids.
I just really wonder how many of the people involved in this show are going to need like intensive therapy at some point of their life after this.
Yeah, I don't know. Like some of those kids were really good actors. They were just like, you could tell they were just playing the part and they knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. Some
didn't seem like they were acting.
Right.
It seems like they were being like literally affected by this.
I think, going into this show, I was just under the impression that it was going to be, and I've said this before, probably on this show, but I really thought it was going to be like a social commentary, like Borat type thing, but with an awkward nerd instead of an over the top actor. But like every single episode gets more and more intense and veers off in crazy ass directions, and there's layers upon layers of commentary.
Yeah.
And you gotta watch the rehearsal just to experience it, if nothing else. I read some tweet that said, Nathan Fielder is amazing, but I think we should put him in a glass prison like Magneto.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good tweet.
I feel it.
I think another thing that it could be is like a commentary on reality shows themselves.
Maybe.
Because I think reality shows are like very fucked up, but in a hidden sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of like taking the tarp off and being like, let me show you how cruel a reality show can be to its contestants. Like, I'm going to put that in the daylight instead of just torturing them behind the scenes. Because if you ever heard the stories about like how reality show people get treated?
More or less.
Like, it's insane.
Well,
it sounds like
the cast and crew don't give a fuck about them. They're there for a paycheck.
Yeah. And the more fucked up they are, the better the product is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they're like sleep depriving them and getting them drunk and like just fucking with them.
Right.
And putting them in situations on purpose to get a reaction out of them. The whole thing is like cruel. So I think the rehearsal is like a combination of that. It's like
that's a good take on it. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think Nathan Fielder's like, look at how absurd this is. I'm just going to be cruel out in the open and you're still going to be entertained. And this is what this is. Well, except you normally don't see the cruelty out in the open.
Right. Like I sold a show to HBO as a reality show. So I'm going to simultaneously waste HBO's money while exposing reality TV for what it is.
Yeah. And they greenlit him for a second season.
Yeah.
I think what it means is he's going to have a greener light than he did this season with a bigger budget.
Do you think he'll still have the replica bar in the second season?
Yeah, I'm wondering about that. It was so weird. Like they veered off that first episode so hard.
So hard, yeah.
I would have loved it if it was 10 episodes of that sort of shit.
That's what I was expecting.
Yeah. And then it went into so weird, like, he's a fucking creative genius. I don't know.
He's a
There's
creative
nothing
genius
like it.
and also probably a psychopath.
He might be.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing like that show ever.
No.
He created that out of the ether. And I
have nothing to compare it to, 100%. It is its own entity.
And I don't know how you could pitch it. Like, I don't know how.
Yeah, how would you sell that show to somebody who'd never heard of it?
I don't know. I don't know how that show exists, which, like, it has to mean he's a genius. It's like a one-off. He's like a creative fucking genius. It's insane.
So bottom line, watch The Rehearsal. I feel like we've said everything we can without completely giving every episode away.
Yeah,
but
it might be the cringiest show of all time. If you don't like cringe, you might want to stay away from it.
I honestly don't know if I enjoyed it, but I feel like I needed to see it.
Yeah, it was a good human experience.
Yeah.
I don't think I enjoyed it either. It's kind of like watching a fucked up documentary.
So what else did we watch?
We watched season 2 of Derry Girls with Lexi and Rob.
We did.
That's a fun show.
I do like it. I don't think it's hitting me as hard as it seems to be hitting you guys. Or like I'm not as emotionally invested.
Yeah.
But it is fun.
You're like what are you, 10 years younger than me?
Yes.
11, 12,
11,
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
You're like a generation below me. So I think what might be happening is like I'm connecting to the 90s shit in a way that you might not be.
Maybe, but I think it's also because the characters themselves are super over the top. That
Yeah, they are.
It makes me disconnect a little bit, especially the main chick. I don't like.
Oh, yeah, she's weird. She's got a weird demeanor about her.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'll keep watching it. I don't know if this is something I'd necessarily be watching and loving on my own, but I think it's a good group watch.
Yeah. What do you I can't think of anyone else who buries their chin in their chest like she does. Like, what is that?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, anyway. Main chick buries her chin in her chest and makes her make weird faces, which are funny to me.
Yeah.
I watched Tenet again. That's like the 10th time I've seen it, I think.
Yep.
Still holds up. Good movie. I still notice shit every time I watch it. New shit.
Good movie.
I watched the rest of Sandman and the surprise 11th episode that dropped.
Oh, that's fun.
Yep. And
what are your thoughts? No, you don't move on. What did you think?
Okay, well, I liked it. I didn't like it. Miriam loves it. It might be Miriam's new favorite thing. For her birthday, I got her, her birthday's tomorrow. And I got her, well, her
tomorrow Monday or tomorrow Thursday?
Tomorrow Monday.
Got it.
2 days ago from today, which is Wednesday. I got her all the Sandman books, and there's like...
Oh, nice. Had she read them before?
Nope.
Okay.
No, she was watching the show.
She's judging it as someone who's never really seen this concept before, and you're judging it as someone who has read and loved the novels.
Yeah, and it's a good adaptation. Like, they really nail it, and the visuals are great. And there's some really cool episodes in there, like... The last one you watched is 3, right?
Yeah.
So 4 goes to hell, and then you meet Lucifer, which is your girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really fucking cool episode. And then there's an episode with Death that was really, really cool. It's like, that's up there with my favorite episodes of TV in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the 11th episode that came out, Netflix just dropped it like 2 weeks after the show came out for some reason. I think to get the reviews out of the way because it was a little different. But it was good. I liked it.
Do you think they'll have more seasons? Or is that like, was that all the novels?
No, they didn't cover all the novels.
Okay.
But it's Netflix, so
yeah.
Oh.
I think that it had a pretty good reception. You
Yeah, but
never
it's
know.
definitely expensive.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I don't know. I would hope so though, because it's good.
Yeah. I
The guy
do
who
want to
played Dream
continue.
is very good, and he like looks like Trent Reznor to a distracting degree. It's fucking crazy. And I'm a Trent Reznor fanboy, so that's all I could see whenever he was on screen.
Is Trent Reznor that skeletal?
He used to be, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. He was a real skinny boy. He had a like big drug addiction.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, you have to look him up from Woodstock '94 when they were playing in the mud. That's an iconic performance.
Oh,
But
I
you
think,
could,
yeah, I think you sent me that exact picture.
yeah, I might have. Um, so that was Sandman. We watched The Fall from
Yeah, yeah.
2006.
So I really wanted to do The Fall as our watch along for a couple of reasons. One, because several articles just came out proclaiming this the summer of Lee Pace. So I wanted
Yeah.
to do some Lee Pace movie. And The Fall is a movie that I've heard a lot about through a YouTube channel called Drawfee. One of the hosts, Julia, often references it as a really great example of environmental storytelling and like using perspective and just all kinds of visuals to actually do the narration.
Uh-huh.
So, anyway, I wanted to see it because of what it looks like more than the actual story, but I loved it.
I didn't know what to I'd never heard of it, and I didn't know what to expect. And I remember when we were watching it, the splash screen, not the splash screen, one of the first screens that came up said David Fincher and Spike Jonze, and I was like, what the fuck? Because those are two of my favorite creators, and I never heard of this before.
Yeah, I feel like you didn't trust me that I was
No,
giving you a good movie.
I didn't, because the premise sounded like The Princess Bride a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
I'm not a huge fan of The Princess Bride.
Well, The Princess Bride is aimed at kids more than
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah, but the fairy tale storytelling
Hmm.
is not my favorite.
I just thought you'd be horny about it because of how extra it is, like visually and like camera techniques and that kind of shit.
Well, once we got into it, I was like commenting
Yeah,
a lot.
maybe somebody should trust me a little more.
I don't know when to trust you. You like weird shit.
Yes, I do. But usually when I present you with weird shit, I give you a disclaimer that it's going to be weird. I
That's
tried
true.
very earnestly to tell you you will like this movie.
That's true. I was also scared by the fact that its distributor is apparently stupid.
Yeah, so the reason that we didn't end up doing it as a watch along is because it is nowhere to be found, truly.
No.
If we did it as a watch along, there's no way for you to watch along unless you own the movie.
Yeah, I had to find a bootleg copy of it.
Yeah, which we don't encourage. I'm
No,
just gonna say it. We
you
can't encourage pirating,
can't
but
really do a show like this and
yeah,
then be like, go pirate this movie.
right.
So we couldn't do it.
Yeah, but I loved it very much. I thought it was very, very cute. It's one that I'll be watching over and over again, I'm sure, if I can get my hands on it.
The problem is it's heavy.
It is heavy.
It's like heavier than I thought it was going to be by a good amount. When I finally realized what was happening,
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to spoil.
Well, the very, very basic premise is there is a man in a hospital telling a little girl with a broken arm a story. So the film kind of bounces back and forth between the present day, which is set in the 20s, and the man in the hospital is a stunt man.
Yeah.
And so it's bouncing back and forth between him talking to the little girl in the hospital and the story playing out from her perspective.
Right.
So it is like very visually stunning.
Yeah, it's
And
beautiful in every way.
yeah.
Like the cinematography is next level.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good and for 2006 even. It's it holds up. It's insane.
Yeah, a lot of cool like transition shots.
Really cool transitions.
Yeah.
Really cool framing. And just that one where they transition from a character's face into a face
I knew
made
that
out
was
of
the
the
one.
landscape. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I've never seen that before. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And their distributor should be ashamed of themselves. I don't know
I truly
why
don't
this movie isn't
understand.
all over the place. It's so good.
Even for rental or purchase, it does not exist on the internet. It's
Like,
so strange.
it's like I would tell people they should watch this
Mhm.
in the same vein as like What Dreams May Come. It's just you should see it just for the visuals.
Yeah,
But not just that, the story itself is really poignant.
it really
And
is.
the script is really good, and they take you on a journey,
They sure do.
and they get you. Like, they get you in the end too. Like,
Yeah, they really
didn't see
fucking
it
do.
coming really.
Yep. Yeah, I
Oh,
highly recommend it if you can get your hands on it.
and the way that they told the story visually through one of the characters that I didn't catch for like 2 hours.
I didn't either until Jesse said something I wouldn't have.
Yeah, it suddenly dawned on me that they dangled this carrot, and it took me 2 hours to like find the carrot. I was like, oh, I see.
I don't think it's super spoilery to say it. So in the story that the man is telling, he's saying that one of the characters is an Indian, and he's obviously talking about an American Indian because he uses terms like wigwam and squaw.
Yeah.
But because the story is being seen through the little girl's perspective, she's visualizing someone from India. So
Yeah,
we're sitting there going, that's not the right kind of Indian.
She's got an accent.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really like, what they're saying is like, she has no clue what an American Indian is because she's from like France or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what her accent is.
I think it's French.
Maybe.
Cutest little girl of all time.
Seriously,
I meant to look her up on IMDb because it's been like
Yeah.
20 years. So I'm interested in what she's doing because she's a great actor too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just that little thing is just like they took a lot of care with that script. Like, that's not something you write in the first draft. That's something you write in like the 8th draft.
Yeah.
So
And another thing is, so she is also kind of casting in her mind the characters in this story as other people in the hospital.
Yeah.
So, she probably wouldn't have seen an American Indian in the 20s working in a hospital.
No, yeah. So all she has is like she knows Indians like from, what is that? That's Asia, right? I'm really bad at geography. I think it's Asia.
Yes, don't make me do this.
I think it's Asia. So she would only know the Asian version of Indians. So that's how she was visualizing it. And they didn't hit you over the head with that.
No, it was very subtle.
It was like, it was just a little bit confusing, but they didn't really ask you to ask yourself why. It's hard to explain. It was like really cool when it occurred to me though.
Yeah, and Jesse said it, and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Never seen that either. So it's like a lot of innovative stuff.
Yeah, I think it was, for me personally, like an instant favorite. I'm definitely going to be seeking this out, and I will be rewatching it and showing it to people.
Yeah, it's good. You guys should check it out.
Yeah. Speaking of fall, so we watched The Fall together.
Right.
I just went to the theaters and saw Fall, which is a totally different movie.
Wow, what a good segue.
Thank you so much. So we talked about the trailer, I think maybe last week or the week before. It's about two girls who are stranded on top of a radio tower. And we did both ask ourselves the question, if it's a radio tower, why don't they have cell signal?
Right.
It is a decommissioned radio tower.
Oh, okay. So they thought of that too.
They did.
Okay.
So I think the whole premise of this movie makes it like a really hard to miss horror film, because when I say hard to miss, I mean it's playing off of a very deeply ingrained fear in a lot of the population, which is heights.
Yeah.
So, they'd have to do a pretty shit job to not make it tense.
That's true.
So it's like these two chicks who are avid climbers had a recent tragedy where they lost one of their husbands in a climbing accident. A year later, the other chick is like, come on, we gotta get back on the horse, conquer your fear, come climb this giant thing with me. Which
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that's the best therapy for this particular fear.
No, probably not. You could just go on not climbing shit if you want.
Yeah. But goes pretty sideways pretty quickly. So like immediately the film opens up with the situation where one of their spouses has perished in a climbing accident. Immediately the voice of Beth was in my head going, no, no, no. So like it was tense to the degree that I was gripping my own leg for a lot of these
Oh, yeah.
scenes. I will say towards the end, first of all, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. A lot of their thought processes were the same as mine. Like, what would you do in that situation? Well, one of them has a cell phone, but there's no cell signal at the top. So their
Right.
idea is put it in something heavily padded, hit send on a text, and then drop it. And I was like,
Interesting.
they say, like that egg drop experiment in elementary school. And I was like, yeah, that was my exact thought.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It is interesting, but like everything they tried, I had that same thought. So also, the reason they are up there is one of the girls is like a YouTuber who does extreme like stunts for her channel.
Uh-huh.
And so I think there's that, is this a stupid premise? Because would anyone actually do this? I think they would, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. Those channels exist.
Right. So I think a lot of their actions were justified and like made sense for who they were.
Yeah.
So that was great because that doesn't always happen in horror. Sometimes you're like, why the fuck are they doing this? This doesn't make human sense.
Yeah.
At some point during the film, they did try to throw a little twist in there that was super unnecessary, in my opinion. And it's a huge spoiler, so I won't say what it is. But I think, when you have a premise like up too high, no one knows you're here, can't get down, you don't need twists and turns.
No.
And just like all of their efforts to contact civilization are thwarted in the most like terrible luck type of ways. So I think it got to be a little too much.
Yeah.
I think that if they hadn't tried too hard, it would have been a better movie. But as far as like tension goes, it was solid.
Yeah. I remember that's why I put it on the list. I was like, this can't miss for making you feel weird.
Yeah. I think I would watch it again if we wanted to make it a watch along.
I will never.
Oh,
I'm
really?
not going to watch that shit. I'm scared of heights.
Oh, then absolutely not. Some of those shots, dude, made me feel like dizzy.
Yeah, I'll never. I would never see that in the theater. You might be able to talk me into like a small screen, but never in a theater. I remember when can't remember what grade it was. We went on a field trip to the Air and Space Museum, I think it was, in Washington, D.C. And this was like near the beginning of IMAX being a thing. And they had this IMAX movie about a volcano.
Okay.
And they had like aerial footage. I had to leave the theater.
Oh, no.
Because I was having a panic attack.
I don't recommend you watch this. It is incredibly panic-inducing.
It was too high and I couldn't handle it. And that's just from a helicopter looking down a volcano. That's not a gigantic radio tower. I'm sure that's even higher.
Yeah, I think that anytime you have a horror movie that plays on a fear like heights or to some extent the dark, although those aren't always as successful, but like underwater or some aspect of claustrophobia, like being trapped in a tight space, those are all inherently bound to succeed in some degree because you're going to have a visceral reaction to that, whether or not the story is good.
Yeah.
So I think in that way, the movie Fall was very successful. I think it tried a little too hard towards the end and didn't need to do what it did, which I will tell you afterwards since you're never going to watch it.
Yeah.
But overall, I'd give it like a 6.8.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's not
I'd
bad for
recommend
horror.
it. If you're good with like tense thrillers, I think it's totally worth a watch.
Right on. We watched Top Gun.
We did.
And that's because Top Gun Maverick's going to be our watch along next week for sure.
Yeah.
Because I want to watch it again. I loved it.
I have heard from multiple people now that Top Gun Maverick is just an overall good movie and doesn't necessarily require a love of Top Gun. I just wanted to see Top Gun before seeing the sequel.
I think it helps to see the 1986 Top Gun.
It's also worth noting that even before I saw Top Gun, I saw Hot Shots, which is a parody of Top Gun.
Yeah.
So I feel like I knew the story. So Top Gun did drag a little bit for me.
Top Gun is not a great movie. It was just like, it was a big hit in the 80s and it was cheesy.
There's a lot of like dogfight scenes, just a whole lot of aerial stunts.
Yeah.
And it got tiring.
So the thing is, in 86, that was hard to do.
Oh, sure.
It's still hard to do, but they used a lot of stock, I think, maybe. You could see like the film grain changing and shit.
Yeah.
So Top Gun Maverick has dogfighting, but it's like next level. You will feel tension no matter what.
Didn't Tom Cruise like learn how to fly a plane for that movie?
Well, they didn't let them fly the planes.
Yeah, I read somewhere that they at least like were in cockpits of planes.
They weren't allowed to fly. They were riding shotgun, like they're in the back. What they did have to learn how to do was operate their own cameras.
Oh.
So they were operating their own cameras in extreme G's, which is and they were staying in character, which is absurdly hard to do.
Yeah.
But they pulled I can't wait till we watch Top Gun Maverick because I'm really interested to see what you think versus the Top Gun that we just saw because they're night and day, like quality wise. And Top Gun Maverick's just a better movie. Top Gun is just about dogfighting. The story itself is kind of stupid. But the story in Top Gun Maverick is very good. All
right. Well, that remains to be seen.
Yep. We'll find out next week.
Sure will.
The time for asking
any question
is right now.
Hey, we got questions.
Hey, we do.
We got 2 questions, but they were both from Tyler, so I only listed one, and we'll do the next one. We'll do the other one next week.
Cool.
So Tyler's question this week is, what movie or movies would you replace the entire cast except for the main character with Muppets?
I'll be very honest here. I don't have the attachment to Muppets that most people do. I didn't watch a lot of Muppets as a kid, so I don't particularly have a fondness or affinity for Muppets. Personally, I actually don't like puppets at all.
But I think it's fun to fuck a movie up with Muppets.
Yeah, I think it would be funny to do the Mummy and everyone except for Brendan Fraser is a Muppet.
Dude, that's actually a really good one.
Thank you.
I went with Ghostbusters.
That's also a good one. But who's technically the main character?
I guess the main character is Bill Murray's character. So I guess Bill Murray, it would be like Scrooged. Scrooge would be another one that would be fun.
That wouldn't be that much different, I feel like.
No, not incredibly different. It would look a lot like the Muppet Christmas Carol, actually.
I feel like any movie that has like a romance vibe, not even necessarily a romance movie, but like a Mummy where there's kind of an underlying 1920s romance hero thing going on. Leaving that guy and making everyone else Muppets would be funny.
I think Ghostbusters would be funny because Ripley, what's Ripley's name? The actress.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver. I think.
Dude, Alien.
Yeah.
Just
Alien with Muppets. But the xenomorph is real.
No, the xenomorph is also a Muppet.
The xenomorph is also a Muppet.
Yeah.
That would be fun. In Ghostbusters, Bill Murray gets a blowjob from a ghost.
Fun.
So you would see him get blown by a Muppet, and that's pretty fun.
Yeah, super fun.
I've been Playing out a lot of hypotheticals in my mind.
Hey, me too. We got one from Tatiana Clay this week.
We did.
That's our friend. Go
That's
see
our
her on
friend.
Etsy.com/magiclessmage.
I just got some
sells
stickies
stickers.
from her.
She does good stickies.
I wrote her a note in the comment section that says I love you, and I don't just say that to all Etsy shop owners. And when I got her stickers, she wrote me a note that said I love you, and I don't just say that to all my Etsy customers.
Wow, that's really cute.
Yeah. So she wrote us a hypothetical scenario here, which is if you were an actor, what do you think your preferred genre would be? And would you go after the main role or side characters?
I chose action because I like the idea of being like the logistical support guy,
Yeah, that's you.
like the headset guy who hacks shit. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
And if I was ever an actor, like the first thing I thought about is that actors have to do too much shit with their like shirt off and stuff. So
Yeah.
you got to like exert yourself a lot. You got to do a lot of running and taking your shirt off. And like, so I thought about like, I just want like a lot of money, but I don't have to do shit. And I think that's the logistical support guy. You're just sitting in a cubicle with a headset and you're like, I'm in. And that's your whole thing. So that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I can see that. I also went with side character because I can't see myself being the main character of anything. I was a drama kid, and one time I got cast in a fairly major role, and I had terrible migraines and dreamt about murdering my drama teacher. So I don't really need that pressure anymore.
That's super fun.
Yeah. So I think genre, I would have to go horror because I think there are so many different genres within horror. I wouldn't necessarily want to do anything like really heavy, but maybe even like a slasher or like anything with big practical effects could be fun.
Yeah.
I
thought about horror, except you're gonna get covered with shit.
That's fine.
All right, we're different people.
Fun. Yeah.
We're different. I couldn't handle getting all that shit on me.
Or like you get to have a scene where you get disemboweled. That might be fun.
Yeah.
Or a musical. But I wouldn't want to have like a huge major part. See,
do you think you sing good enough for a musical?
No.
That would be fun to you though.
But I think I could if I had like opera training.
Oh, I see.
As it stands now, no. But I wouldn't want to be, I'd kind of want to be like slightly villainous, but not the villain. I don't want to have that kind of role. I want to be like the slightly annoying character or like the slightly prima donna type character who kind of towards the end of the film gets better. I just feel like that would be more fun.
You want to be like the parrot from Lion King?
No.
All right. Well, fuck me then, I guess.
Yeah, fuck you. I was thinking like Phantom of the Opera. I would want to be Carlotta.
I don't know enough about I know you made me watch it, or you made me watch it
twice.
Dixie made me watch it another time.
Yeah.
But I don't remember shit about it. So I don't know.
My other answer, Carlotta. She is the opera singer who's like jealous that Christine is being cast in anything because she's the prima donna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'd want to be like a minor antagonist.
Right. What's your other thing?
Or I would want to be in like a long-running beloved sitcom, and not necessarily for the sitcom role, but I think because those casts build such strong bonds. Like, the cast of Boy Meets World, they're still super close to this day. Like, I would want something like that where you kind of form almost a familial bond with your castmates.
Yeah.
And I would want to be like a Stevie from Schitt's Creek. But
or that guy from Central Perk and Friends.
I don't know
the
enough
coffee
about
guy.
Friends.
I can't remember his name.
I don't know enough about Friends.
I would have pegged you for a Friends person.
No, I don't really like Friends.
Daphne from Frasier.
I'm not a big Frasier.
What the fuck? Who doesn't like Frasier?
It's not that I don't like Frasier. I just didn't watch it a lot.
What the hell? That's my comfort show.
If we were doing a Friends scenario, I would want to be a Phoebe. I think for me personally, if I did sitcom, I don't want to be typecast as like the funny fat friend because I feel like that's what would happen. So I'd still want to maintain an air of dignity.
A little bit of dignity.
Yeah.
I would want to be in like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But it would be fun to be like Kramer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good call. I like
Yeah.
the sitcom. I like the sitcom move you did there.
Right.
I didn't even think about sitcoms.
So either I want someone to pull my own guts out or be
Be
Kramer.
Phoebe. Hell yeah. There was actually some movie and television news this week.
Ooh.
Regal Cinema's owner, Cineworld, is preparing for bankruptcy
Oh,
again.
shit.
They went bankrupt in 2001 or something like that. And then the reason why it perked me up is that I know that Regal Cinema owns 4DX. So I suspect 4DX is in big old trouble.
Yeah, certainly
'Cause
could be.
Normally when people file for Chapter 11, they cut costs.
Yeah,
And I think 4DX is going to go down a drain.
that makes sense.
And
I
due to
feel
my
like it's
circumstance,
also-
I never got to do 4DX. I'm kind of sad.
Yeah. I've
Have you
never
ever-
done it.
You haven't either?
No, I don't
It
really
doesn't
care.
sound like the best thing ever. You're like getting tossed around in a chair.
Yeah. I don't think it's like hugely popular, is it?
I don't know.
Because there
I would
can't
have
be.
liked. It's
like-
intriguing.
It's intriguing, but it can't be super common. Like there can't be that many 4DX theaters that it's a super regular thing for people.
Right. There's this movie called Matinee with John Goodman, and it kind of goes off of that sort of idea. Like the whole movie is about scaring the fuck out of the townspeople by making a movie feel like reality. And then at the end of the movie, he like fakes a nuclear blast.
Jesus.
We should watch Matinee sometime. It's actually a good movie.
Does it count as 4DX, the old Honey, I Shrunk the Kids ride in Disneyland where they like pump smells in and then like I think there's a scene where
Maybe.
some mice get released and they like tickle your feet with something under the chairs.
Oh shit.
There's
Yeah,
like
I guess
some-
I
yeah.
guess that's 40X, but
So sure, yeah, I've done 4DX then.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I've never been
It
to
used to be.
Disneyland.
It's certainly not anymore.
The next thing I have here is that George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead is coming to theaters in 3D this Halloween from October 28th to the 31st.
That is fun. I like when they do that, but also I think Dawn of the Dead is really boring.
Yeah. That's for the people that like Dawn of the Dead. If you want to see it in 3D, maybe that's the move for you.
Yeah, but I do like it when they bring classics back to the theater for a limited time. That's fun.
Yeah, me too. That seems cool. HBO Max is pulling dozens of films and TV series from its streaming platform,
Yeah.
and I fucking hate it.
I think that's been ongoing for a while, hasn't it?
Well, they started with Batgirl and another like Scoob, but now they're like going ham
Yeah.
and they're getting rid of shit that people really like.
Yeah.
And it's for a tax cut and
Oh,
it's going into a goddamn corporate vault and they're never going to be seen again. And it feels really fucking icky to me
yeah.
when you consider that the creators and their royalties are going in that vault too.
For
And
real.
it's their like passion projects for some of these people.
And you have to imagine that the people who got something sold to HBO were like over the moon about it.
Yeah. Well, some of these are like ongoing shows that got axed.
So weird.
It's fucking, it feels bad. Like
But
there was a
aren't
part of
they-
me that was like, do I boycott Discovery?
Is it just for the tax cut, or do you think it's part of their preparation to roll into that Discovery / HBO Max platform?
I'm sure it's like half and half, probably.
Yeah.
It's definitely a business decision.
Yeah, it's
It's like
certainly
soulless.
a decision.
It's fucking soulless. This reminds me of Fox from like the 90s.
Yeah.
It's like when Firefly got
Ooh, yeah,
canceled
for
and
real.
Freaks
That's
and
exactly
Geeks.
yeah, that's where my mind
That's
went to.
really what it reminds me of. It's like fuck the fans.
Where they canceled the show but then also banned any selling of fan made merch.
Yeah. That's what this feels like, and I
Mhm.
hate it.
Yeah.
I don't remember the CEO's name, but I hate him.
Yeah. That sucks.
What a dick.
We come together on a huge silver screen because we need that. All of us. That indescribable feeling we get feels good in a place like this.
I'm coming.
You know what else is coming? 3
You?
movies. No.
Oh.
Fucking what? No. There's
Like,
3.
it was a weird way to announce it, but it could have been.
No. 3 movies are coming to theaters nationwide on August 26th. You know what they are?
Whoa. Well, let me tell you. The
Yeah,
first
right.
one is called Samaritan. It's an action drama fantasy about a young boy who learns that a superhero who was thought to have gone missing after an epic battle 20 years ago may in fact still be around.
Wow.
Wow.
The production went on hiatus due to COVID-19 in 2020.
Wow, cool.
So I think they just got around to releasing this. It's got Sylvester Stallone. It's got
Fair.
our boy Martin Starr.
I do love Martin Starr.
I love Martin Starr a whole lot. Not enough to
Yeah.
watch this, though.
No.
I'll never watch it.
No.
I don't like Sylvester Stallone in much.
No.
And
It's not, I mean, it
don't know.
can't be good.
It might, I don't know. It might be. Who knows?
No.
But they're dropping it late August. Probably isn't.
I kind of want to talk about the next one because I just saw a trailer for it in my fall previews. It's called The Invitation, which there's a better older movie called The Invitation. I'm sure it's better than this. A young woman is courted and swept off her feet only to realize a gothic conspiracy is afoot.
What's a gothic conspiracy? You
So
think?
I have a theory about that. So in the trailer, it's like this chick is invited to a wedding only to realize that she is now the bride.
Uh-huh.
But
Interesting.
there's a lot of blood play in the trailer, and then
Oh.
at one point someone says, "Oh, Mr. Harker." So I think it's Dracula.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to put this in the notes. You're dead on.
Yeah.
It's based on Dracula. I saw that
Yeah.
and I forgot to put it in the notes.
I didn't know anything about this prior to seeing the trailer in theaters, and it's Dracula.
Yep, that's a good call.
Yeah. So it actually looked fairly decent, but I feel like they gave absolutely everything about the movie away in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like they could have left some of those things as surprise twists. So if you're really like the type of person like me who doesn't like to know a lot about horror before going in, I don't recommend watching this trailer because it gives a lot of shit away.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll both forget it by the time it comes to streaming, because I bet it'll make it to a watch along, maybe depending on what else comes out that week.
I'm not sold on it, but it might be okay.
I'm not super sold. It's directed and written by Jessica M. Thompson, and the one thing is she wrote something called Light of the Moon, which won an audience award at South by Southwest, which is intriguing.
I just feel like there are only so many takes on Dracula you can do and have it still be interesting.
Yeah.
So I think just that as a premise turns me off.
I've certainly seen a million Dracula things.
Yeah.
So.
And how many of them have been good?
I don't know, a couple. I'm
Yeah.
kind of over vampire shit at this point in my life.
Unless I see a refreshing take, I'm not sold. The next
It is
movie,
starring. I was gonna say it's starring Natalie Emmanuel, who is Missandei from Game of Thrones.
She's good.
She's good. She's very pretty. Hugh Skinner, who is Harry from Fleabag. Is that Big Tooth Man?
No, it's not Big Tooth Man. It's her first boyfriend who says maybe we should stop masturbating. And she says, I don't know how.
That's the guy that leaves shit around the apartment.
Yeah, his little dinosaur plate. Or
I don't like that guy. He's pussy.
No. Yeah, anything I've ever seen him in, he's played that same character. And it's real uncomfortable.
Be interesting to see what he does in the Dracula movie.
Yeah.
The next movie is something I'm interested in, which is the 3,000 Years of Longing. It's a drama fantasy romance. A lonely scholar on a trip to Istanbul discovers a djinn who offers her 3 wishes in exchange for his freedom. It's written and directed by George Miller.
Who is
I like George Miller.
What else he done?
just realized I said I like George Miller, and I can't answer that. I think he did Mad Max, but I get George Miller mixed up. I'm gonna look him up.
Look him up. But the reason that this intrigues me at least somewhat is that it's starring Tilda Swinton, who I absolutely love, and Idris Elba, who's also great. So
Yeah.
could be good. I don't know. I'd watch it.
George Miller certainly did Mad Max,
Okay.
which I like those movies a lot.
I've never seen a Mad Max.
Really?
Really?
I don't know. I don't know if you would like it. Maybe you would. I think you would think it drags, probably.
Well, you kept saying you were going to show me one, but then every time we got around to wanting to watch something, you were like, no, it's too heavy. I don't want to watch that right now.
Yeah, it is a little heavy and it drags. It's a little I don't know. I think everybody should watch Mad Max God damn it, what is it called? Fury Road? Yeah. Mad Max Fury Road. I think everybody should watch that just for like the technical achievements of it.
Okay.
Yeah, we should watch that at some point. Maybe like a bonus episode.
We could do that.
Did you already say that it was starring Tilda Swinton
I sure did.
and Idris Elba? Yeah, this one looks good. I think it looks like fun.
I think it looks interesting.
I think it's interesting.
I don't necessarily. Well, yeah. Do you want to guess the rating on anything?
No.
I don't either.
I might want to scrap the whole rating guess thing. I've been thinking about this.
It's I think fun for like really big, like widely anticipated releases,
Yeah.
but I feel like there haven't been a lot of those lately.
No.
So we'll bring it back when there's something we're actually excited about or curious about.
So what's new on streaming?
Well, first we got House of the Dragon, which is that Game of Thrones prequel series. It's the story of the House Targaryen set 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, on HBO Max. And I think that's out very soon.
Yeah, I think it's coming.
I think it's out tonight. Sunday. Wednesday.
I genuinely haven't decided if I'm going to watch this yet. I don't care that much.
No, I don't either. And I'm going to wait to see what people say for the sole reason that it's created by Ryan J. Condal, and he does not have many credits. And I don't know if you want to take on this type of a series with not many credits to your name. Because it seems like if you're going to try to recapture Game of Thrones, you need to be technically savvy. I'm a little worried about it.
If it's really under the strict watch of George R.R. Martin, maybe it won't matter. Dude. But I don't think so either. It does star Matt Smith, who I'm not really impressed with lately. I'm not a big Doctor Who person, so I can't speak to his performance in that. But I feel like he's just been in a lot of kind of flops lately, and I'm not. Yeah.
He's not. I didn't even really like him that much in Doctor Who, and he's not been in a lot of stuff that I've liked him in. So I think I'm gonna wait for the jury on this one.
I also read something I think in an interview with somebody. I don't know. This is very I'm just remembering some article that I can't even link to. But somebody involved with this show was asked if it's going to be horny, essentially, like Game of Thrones was. And they said not really, but there's a lot of sexual violence. And I'm like, that's not a promising watch point for me.
No.
So
yeah, I'm gonna wait on this one.
Yeah, let us know if you like it. The next one here is Mo, which is a comedy. Mo Najar, who straddles the line between 2 cultures, 3 languages, and, quote, a ton of bullshit. The fictional Mo is a Palestinian refugee living one step away from asylum on the path to U.S. citizenship. I don't know anything about this.
I don't either, but I will give most comedians a shot.
I'm the opposite.
I watched that This Fool show that we were talking about last week. That wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And I'll probably do something similar with this one. I might give it an episode to see if it catches me. But I will tend to give comedians a shot. I
generally don't.
Yeah.
And I also just don't do a lot of comedy series in general.
Yeah, that's fine. This was created by Mohammed Amir and Rami Youssef.
Cool.
And I looked at the trailer and it looks funny, so I'll check it out and I'll see.
Next, we have Orphan First Kill. Did you ever see the first Orphan movie?
No, I didn't, and
I
I
didn't
almost
either.
I almost suggested this for our watch along this week.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't really wanna. I think the premise of Orphan is based on a true story. There was that article about this couple adopted what they thought was a kid and found out it was just like a 30-something-year-old crazy person with dwarfism.
I kind of
Uh,
remember this.
Yeah. So this is, I guess, the sequel. The synopsis is after orchestrating a brilliant escape from an Estonian psychiatric facility, Esther travels to America by impersonating the missing daughter of a wealthy family. Kind of
Yeah,
just sounds like the same movie again.
probably, but
Yeah.
it seems like it's an interesting premise.
Mm.
And it was kind of highly rated for a horror.
Yeah, I think a lot of people liked the first one.
I almost suggested this for the watch along, but
And
in the end said nah.
nah.
That's on
Next.
Paramount Plus. I can't remember if you said that or not.
Oh, I didn't. Next movie, Look Both Ways, which is a comedy, drama, romance coming to Netflix. It is a movie in which the synopsis is on the eve of her college graduation, Natalie's life diverges into parallel realities. One in which she becomes pregnant and remains in her hometown to raise her child, and another in which she moves to LA to pursue her dream career. I actually did see like a little teaser about this, and it's kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, I might want. Maybe we will watch this.
Probably
if you're
not,
into
but
it. I'm like, so it's starring Lily Reinhart, and she was on the Duncan Trussell Family Hour this week,
I have
which is
no idea what you just said.
Duncan Trussell is a comedian. He's kind of like floats in Joe Rogan's circle, but he's not Joe Rogan-y at all. He's kind of like a hippie. He did a Netflix show called The Church of Something. It was like an animated show that was trippy. And he's known for drug use, basically, like being funny and
fun.
using drugs. But his podcast is called the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. Usually it has like yogis and shit on it. He talks to a bunch of new age people, and I listen to it. Like, it's an interesting podcast. This week he had Lily Reinhart on, which is rare. He doesn't normally have actors, and he doesn't normally do that sort of thing. So like, I listened to it, and she's kind of out there, and it made me kind of want to watch it more. Because I do like the idea of parallel realities too. I talk about that shit all the time for fun.
Yeah, you sure do.
So this one did caught my interest. And if you're not going to watch it, I might watch it by myself.
Yeah, I think this is one I'll let you watch and tell me how it is before I agree.
And I'll probably never watch it. We'll never talk about this again.
Great.
It also has Danny Ramirez, who is Fanboy from Top Gun Maverick. We're going to
Wow.
find out who that is next week.
Great. Next, we have Spin Me Round, which is a comedy movie on AMC Plus. A woman wins an all-expense trip to a company's gorgeous institute outside of Florence, and also the chance to meet the restaurant chain's wealthy and charismatic owner. She finds a different adventure than the one she imagined.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Don't care. I meant to watch Horse Girl, actually, which is written and directed by the director of this film, Jeff Baena.
That makes sense because it's Alison Brie who was in Horse Girl.
Yep. And I meant to watch Horse Girl, never did.
I don't wanna.
I don't even know if it was good.
I don't wanna.
You don't like Alison Brie?
She's fine. I like her in
Community? Glow. Oh, in Below?
Glow?
Oh,
Isn't
Glow.
that what it's called? The
yeah, you're
lady
right.
wrestlers? Yeah.
Glow is good.
It's real good.
That got Netflix fucking canceled that.
Yeah, they did. And
Dick
it was a
move.
real cliffhanger ending, so that sucks a lot.
That's a big dick move from Netflix.
Yeah.
That show is good.
It was good. I wish we had more of that instead of whatever this is.
And it also had Jake Picking, who was Harvard from Top Gun Maverick.
Wow, great. I love it. Next. Glorious, a horror thriller on Shudder. After a breakup, Wes ends up at a remote rest stop. He finds himself locked inside the bathroom with a mysterious figure speaking from the adjacent stall. Soon, Wes realizes he is involved in a situation more terrible than he could imagine. Does
Yep.
this all take place in a bathroom?
I'm not sure about it. It's Shudder, so maybe.
That's kind of funny if it does.
I don't know if you want to watch this. I'll watch it sometime. But except,
Oh, yeah. I have
what's
seen
that?
the just like cover art for this, and
The
it
cover
looks
art's
bloody.
beautiful.
Yeah. Also, Ryan Quanten is from a show that I used to watch as a youngin' called Somerville, starring Jesse McCartney.
Oh, what the hell? I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna mention True Blood.
No, I didn't watch True Blood, but I watched Somerville.
He was
like,
Jason Stackhouse in True Blood, and I hated his character to the core.
Oh, fun.
I hated that fucking character so much.
I think I liked him in Somerville. He was like the hot Australian uncle. Somerville was a horny show.
That's really weird that you went to Somerville instead of True Blood. I
I
would have
didn't watch True
I would have
Blood.
assumed you were a True Blood girl. That's the
No,
horniest
'cause
show
I
of all
don't-
time.
I don't like CW stuff.
It's not,
Man. Even if it's not on CW, it's CW.
dude. We need so we're pretty good friends.
Yeah.
Most pretty good friends have like a card you can pull.
You want me to watch True Blood? That's your card?
It might be one of my
hang on.
I think True Blood would speak to your goddamn soul for at least 4 seasons.
I think I would find that insulting.
No. It's not. Yes, it has some CW style elements. It's not a CW show though. It's horny as fuck. It's one of the horniest shows of all time, and it's about supernatural shit. And it has some of the greatest characters.
Yeah, but
there's one I'm thinking of that you would love. I guarantee it. I kind of want to pull the friend card on True Blood.
I don't know if you can pull the friend card on something with 81 episodes.
Just like first season. What if it's what if I tell you to watch the first season of True Blood and you tell me to watch the first season of something else?
Because I only like good things, Jesse, and anything I recommend is not going to be a sacrifice for you, okay?
I don't
know. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. It's not off the table, but I feel like you've misunderstood what I like about supernatural stuff, and that's when it's scary, not when it's horny.
Nah, dog.
And for teens.
I think you might like True Blood a lot. Like maybe a whole lot. I don't know. Maybe we'll watch an episode together.
Okay.
J.K. Simmons is also in this glorious movie, which I don't know. He seems to be in everything, so I don't even know if that's a possibility. He's in everything.
Yeah. He's good, though.
Yeah, he's good.
I like him.
He's in one of my favorite movies, which is Whiplash. And Tordy Clark, who I put here because she's got a fun name.
Yeah, she does. I have never heard of her.
Not me neither, but she's in Jerry and Marge Go Large, and I wanted to watch that, and I keep forgetting. I'm going to eventually watch that.
And that is a wrap on all the new stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
And
so,
what are we watching this week?
What are we watching this week? I think we're going to watch a little Train to Busan.
Yeah, this is my pick because last week we watched a Netflix vampire movie starring Jamie Foxx that Jesse wanted to see so bad.
Day Shift.
So, yeah. So
which wasn't the worst thing we've ever seen.
It certainly wasn't. It was very middle of the road. So I genuinely wanted to pick something that Jesse would like because we could sure use a win. And I love Train to Busan. I think it's fucking great. It is a subtitled, I believe, Japanese film.
Korean.
I know that they're going to Busan, but I thought it was a Japanese film. I could be wrong about that.
It's definitely Korean if you look at the credits.
Okay. Well, I'm racist then.
We're Americans. We're all racist. It's fine.
Yeah. But it is a zombie film that takes place, as you could guess, on a train. And I don't know if you need more than that. I think you should just watch it and trust me that it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's definitely Korean. The synopsis says, while the zombie virus breaks out in South Korea.
No, I know it takes place in Busan, but for some reason I really thought it was Japanese. I don't know why.
Huh. I don't know. Maybe the style of the film itself.
I don't know.
It was directed by Sang Ho Yan, who's done nothing that I recognize. I have several friends who watch like almost exclusively Korean shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep meaning to like maybe dive in because it sounds like South Korea's film industry and like
They
their
make some
media.
great shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they make really good shit that I'm just blind to. So if anybody listening has like recommendations for the best Korean shit, hit me with it because I've been wanting to check it out.
Yeah, I know that for this particular film, at least, the main character, who I'm really hoping I'm not butchering these names, but I probably am. Please.
Oh yeah,
forgive
we're
me.
both gonna butcher
Yeah.
these names.
I believe it's Gong Yu. I know he was in Squid Game.
Yeah.
And also Ma Dong Seok, I want to say. He is in something Disney, the Eternals.
Yep.
So, and I love him. My friend Alex and I affectionately refer to him as Thick Dad, and you'll know why when you see this film.
Thick Dad. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited. I've wanted to watch Train to Busan for a long time. I just haven't.
Yeah.
So this was a good recommendation, I think, on your part. I think
also, it's worth noting I gave Jesse 6 choices and he chose this. So
yep.
That's, what you get.
You still put this on me, even though it was your suggestion somehow.
Yeah, but I'm going to take credit because it's a good movie.
Yeah, I'm sure it's good.
Cool.
Well, that's it for this show.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You can look for that watch along to come out on Friday at 7 a.m. on our YouTube channel, too. If you want to go over to our YouTube channel, give us a subscription.
YouTube. Yeah, please do. We need a name still.
We do, and I do a lot of work on those videos.
Yeah.
Give us a subscription if you like them with the time codes and whatnot.
Subbies, please.
Subbies, please.
Goodbye.
Wow. I can't believe it. We did another one.
We fucking sure did, bud.
Episode 11, bud. Episode 11. Wow, I didn't think we'd get past 2. And here we are at 11.
Wow,
I was sure you would be tired of me by now.
Well, I am, but we persist.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Two Idiots Talking Over Stuff, produced by Jesse Stillwell, with original theme and outro music by Jesse Stillwell. For more information, you can visit www.idiots.fm or reach out directly via email to contact@idiots.fm.